Denise Martinez-Scanziani. I am number 314 on the ballot. And I'm joining you as I have every Saturday since the beginning of this campaign, sharing with you all, speaking to everybody as much as possible, trying to get the word out about my campaign. So thank you, Yasmin. Thank you for voting. And so just a reminder that right now, they used to be called absentee ballots. Now they're called mail-in ballots. The mail-in ballots have been sent out by the Department of Elections. As of last count, I think there were almost 400,000 mail-in ballots that were sent to all of the homes that had any voter who had requested their mail-in ballots. So about 392,000 had been sent out, and that is a huge number. So it is very likely that this election will be decided with mail-in ballots. So we've had about 392,000 sent out. I checked a few days ago, there were about 15,000 that had been returned. The number is probably much higher now. And so I wanted to point out a couple of things for you. If you have voted by mail-in ballot and you want to make sure that your ballot got back to the Department of Elections, and that your vote has been processed and counted, you can do so online. Actually, and I'll give you the example. My brother, who lives overseas for work, he did his vote by mail-in ballot. And what he did was when he received it, he filled it out, he sent it back. He did vote for me, Denise Martinez-Scanziani, number 314. He was able to check online. You go to miamidade.gov/elections. And you can go to the voter information site, and then you put in your name and your date of birth, and then it'll give you your personalized information. It'll tell you your address, it'll tell you all that. And then at the bottom, if you've already received your mail-in ballot, it'll tell you if you've received it or if they've mailed it. If you've returned it, it'll also tell you that it's been processed and counted. So I was able to do that. We were able to see that today and check that for him. And so his vote was definitely counted. So that's one way of doing it if you have your mail-in ballot. I know a lot of folks have told me as I'm doing the campaign, and yes, as you're saying, Eileen, some people would rather vote in person, and I understand that. I am going to be voting in person as well. There's something about going to the voting booth and, filling it in, and especially filling in my number. It's very exciting. And I want to do that the first day of early voting. But if you have your mail-in ballot and you want to turn in your mail-in ballot, you can also do that by dropping it off if you don't want to put it in the mail. Some folks are very, very worried about their mail-in ballot getting lost in the mail or something, happening to it. So instead of putting it in the mail, you can take it to the Department of Elections in Miami-Dade, which is located in Doral, or you can wait for an early voting to start on August 3rd and take it that way in person. So that's another way of doing it. And so just a reminder of who I am and what we're doing here. My name is Denise Martinez-Scanziani, and I've been sharing with you every Saturday. If you're new to watching this and you haven't seen me before, every week how long has it been? I don't know, with the coronavirus lockdown, it feels like I've been doing this for 6 or 7 months, but I know that's not true. So for at least for the last, 6 or 7 weeks, I've been coming on here live on YouTube, on Twitter, on Instagram, and on Facebook to just share a little bit about myself and who I am and what I'm doing. And every week I've said, I've given some of the same information. Then I've given different information. So you can always look back on the Facebook page. It's facebook.com/Denise4Judge. And you can look at some of the older videos that have been up there if you wanted to see what I've said in the past. But if not, if you're joining here now and you wanted to learn a little bit more, this is my way of reaching you, the voters, as much as possible in a very socially distant way. There's not a lot of opportunities to be able to actually speak and meet with voters. But I've been able to do this, and I've gotten a lot of great responses. I've gotten to speak to some voters who wanted more information, so they've emailed me, or they've messaged me on Facebook, or they've messaged me on Instagram, and I said, look, let's just have a conversation. So I'll call them or they'll call me and then we'll talk a little bit about it. So if you wanted to message me, you can message me through Facebook. You can message me through Instagram. That's and my Instagram handle is Denise for Judge 2020. And my Facebook one, as I mentioned earlier, it's facebook.com/Denise for Judge. And you can message me and I'm happy to, if you want to have a conversation, we can share a little bit more, or you can email me at connect@deniseforjudge2020.com. I'm going to say it again. It's connect@deniseforjudge2020.com. And there you can email me. We can set up a time to chat. That's another way that a lot of voters who really want to volunteer, they've said, hey, how can I help? How can I volunteer? That's another way you can do it. We haven't reached out to every volunteer yet. So if you have emailed us and we haven't responded to you, please hang on. We'll be getting there. We'll be getting to you, I promise, because we do need your help. It's getting the word out as much as possible. I have been running a very grassroots campaign because I think it's really important that the voters, that the community get to know their candidates, the judicial candidates. So I have been able to, basically share as much as possible through this means, but also I'm relying on all of you to share with your friends and your family and your contacts about my campaign and my candidacy. So I'm super duper grateful. I really am. I have no way of saying it. I say it that way because I'm a mom of 3 teenagers. So, but yeah. So let me just say hi to a couple of people. Hey, Christy, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. So let's see, what else is going on? Right now, what we're doing is we're getting the word out as much as possible. We are sharing with people as much as possible. If you have your mail-in ballots, I ask that you remember that you fill in your vote and do not forget to sign it. Don't forget to sign it. If you don't sign it in the back, your mail-in ballot will not be counted. If you have received your mail-in ballot and you prefer to vote during early voting starting August 3rd, you can do that as well. Just because you received your mail-in ballot doesn't mean that you have to vote by mail. You can do it in other ways. You can vote during early voting starting August 3rd, and I'll just go over a little bit about that again. Let me share. I want to get that information because I have had some folks ask me, where do I go vote for early voting? So let me just pull up that information real quickly for you and tell you that early voting starts August 3rd. We have 2 weeks of early voting in Miami-Dade County, and so far it is going forward. There is nothing, you'd have to stay tuned, but right now it looks like everything is going to be going forward, respecting social distance, etc. But the polls will be open. So as of August 3rd, you can vote from 7 a.m. until 3 p.m. at any of the following locations. This is the first week. The time changes on the weekend, and then it changes the second week. Thank you, Marin, 314, 314. Muchas gracias, Marin. So early voting, I'll give you some of the sites. So you have the Coral Gables Branch Library, Coral Reef Branch Library on 152nd Street. You have the Department of Elections, which is located at 2700 Northwest 87th Avenue in Doral. FIU is an early voting location this year. You have the Historic Garage in South Miami Avenue. You have the Homestead Community Center. You have the John F. Kennedy Library in Hialeah. On 49th Street, that's another early voting location. You have the Caleb Community Center on 22nd Avenue is an early voting location. Kendall Branch Library, that one's on 91st and 97th Avenue in Southwest in the Kendall area. You have the Lemon City Library up on Northeast 61st Street. You have Miami Beach City Hall. Miami-Dade College Kendall campus is also an early voting location at the Facel Conference Center. Miami-Dade College North Campus is also a voting location. Miami Lakes Community Center, the North Dade Regional Library on Northwest 183rd Street, North Miami Public Library on Northeast 132nd Street, North Shore, that's on the beach, up on 75th and Collins Avenue, is an early voting location. And the Northeast Dade Aventura Library is an early voting location. The South Dade Regional Library down in Cutler Bay on 211th Street. The Government Center downtown is an early voting location. And then West Dade Regional Library, which is Southwest 24th Street. That is another early voting location. West Kendall on Hammocks is an early voting location. And then finally, West Miami Community Center on 62nd Avenue and 9th Street Southwest. That is an early voting location. So you have about 23 early voting locations, which means that once early voting starts, August 3rd, you can go to any one of those locations, regardless of where you live, and vote there. When they get your information, they will print out a ballot according to who should be on your ballot based on where you live. Now, the schedule for early voting the first week from August 3rd until August 7th is from 7 a.m. until 3 p.m. And then on the weekend, it's 8 a.m. until 4 p.m. Okay. And then the second week, starting August 10th, the schedule changes. It's a little bit later, and it starts at 11 a.m. and it closes at 7 p.m. And that runs all through the week until August 14th. And then on the weekend, again, it's open from 8 a.m. until 4 p.m. I will personally be at every day I'll be at a different early voting location. I'll probably go live real quick and let you know where I am, just to share if anybody wants to come out and meet me in person. But early voting, you have 2 weeks and plenty of opportunities to vote during that time period, whether it's on the weekend, if you're running out to get groceries or whatever the case may be. Take a minute to vote. It's very important that you exercise your right to vote. As I've told you before, I'm running for circuit court judge. I am one of 7 judicial races. So you've probably seen a lot of signs around the county with different names of different people running for judge in different offices. I am not running against every single one of those candidates. Okay, so just to be clear, there's 7 different races. And each race has 2 different people running in those seats. So I encourage you to do your research when you see the names, when you see the signs, or when you Google it, you can look it up. Do your research. I've done as much as I can to share and educate everybody. You can go to my website at deniseforjudge2020.com. You can get information about my qualifications, who I am. You can see you can see more about me there. But I'm not the only candidate. There's a lot of other ones. So you have 7 different races. If you've already voted, you know what I'm talking about. So you have the opportunity. Our county will have 7 judges that will be voted for. And like I've told you before, the judges are tough, right? They're tough to vote for because the judicial candidates are nonpartisan. We can't explain to you our political beliefs. We can't tell you our opinions on issues. I find a lot of times I have to comment on Facebook and reply to different comments, just explaining this over and over again, because it would be illegal. Frankly, it would just be illegal for me to say, hey, I'm this or I'm that, or I believe this or I believe that. It would be unethical, which I don't think anybody wants from a judge or a judicial candidate. And not only that, it would cause me to be removed from office. So it's not that I don't want to share. It's not that I don't, and I understand the frustration. It's just we are legally prohibited from saying those things. So I just ask that you do your research, find out about the candidates, find out more about me, or just reach out to me. And I'm happy to pick up the phone and speak to anybody who wants to have a conversation. I've done it several times, and it has been great speaking to the voters. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. If you're just tuning in and this is the first time you're seeing one of these videos, my name is Denise Martinez-Scanziani. I am a lifelong resident of Miami-Dade County, born and raised. I went to Springview Elementary for elementary school. Then I went to Glades Middle School. It was actually Glades Junior High back then, if that tells you more or less how old I am. This is before there were middle schools. And then I went to Coral Gables Senior High, as part of the IB magnet program, where I graduated with my IB degree at that time. From there, I went to the University of Florida, where I graduated with an undergraduate degree in criminology. I graduated summa cum laude, and then I went to the University of Florida, where I graduated cum laude with my Juris Doctor degree as a lawyer. From there, I returned back to South Florida, and I became a staff attorney at Legal Aid, serving the interests of senior citizens. I was a staff attorney for the Senior Citizen Law Project. All of my clients were 65 and older. I chose to serve. I chose the path of service because I am very passionate about serving. I've been given so much, and I was always taught that if you're given much, you need to give. If you receive much, you need to give more. So I've been serving since I became a lawyer. I was a former high school teacher as well. And then I started my own business, my own law firm, where I've been practicing now, have had my own business for 18 years now, where I've been concentrating recently in the area of marital and family law. And so let me tell you a little bit about that. I am board certified in marital and family law. In fact, I am the only candidate who is board certified in any area of the law. And why is that important? I'll tell you. According to the Florida Bar, if you are not board certified, you cannot call yourself an expert in any area of the law. So to become board certified, you have to get an application, you have to fill it out. The different judges and other attorneys in that area of the law are required to give references about your professionalism, about your ability, your qualifications, your ethics. And then if you pass that part of the application, then you have to take an exam. And I got to tell you, it was not an easy exam. It was, I would say, more difficult than the actual exam to become a lawyer because it was a very specialized exam. So I did pass, and I am now a board certified marital and family law attorney. In fact, I'm one of only 33 in the entire county that can call herself board certified. In my race, I am the only board certified candidate, and I am actually the only board certified candidate running in any race. So as far as what I'm doing, I'm the only person that can call herself a legal expert according to the Florida Bar. I'm very proud of that because I will tell you that I worked very hard to do it, but mostly because I wanted to become as qualified and as experienced as much as possible so that I could give the very best of me to you, the voters. And that's what I'm doing. I'm here asking you to vote for me, not because of necessarily a friendship or a relationship, but because I am the most qualified candidate in my race. I am committed to serving every single person in this community, regardless of what the person looks like or who they are or where they come from. I believe very passionately that everyone who comes into a court of law has the right to be seen and to be heard. And frankly, I am very passionate about justice and giving back to this community, to my community, to the county. So I'm very, very grateful for this opportunity. I'm very grateful for the campaign. I'm very grateful for this democratic process that we have that allows you, the voters, to select and to elect your judges. And remember, you are much more likely to come face to face with a judge than any other elected official. Okay, I say that over and over again because it's true. Sometimes people think, well, I'm not a criminal. I don't do anything wrong. I don't have any legal issues. Well, I don't care about the judges. And I'll tell you, that's every one of us is much more likely to come face to face with a judge. You could be called for jury duty. You could be involved in a family dispute. I'm a family lawyer. I've seen it in courtrooms where a father has custody of his kids coming into the courtroom and walking out, he's lost custody, or the mother, vice versa. So a judge can change your life or impact your life in that moment with a decision. Judges make decisions that impact our lives immediately in that moment when you're in that courtroom. So the judges, although they're probably the most difficult races to vote for, because a lot of people just don't know, and that's the common complaint I get. Well, I don't know how to vote for judges. I don't know. I have no information about any of these candidates. What party are you? Are you conservative? Are you liberal? Are you this? And I understand the frustration. I really do. I really do. It's just the rules and the laws of the state of Florida prevent us from sharing a lot of that information. So this is what I can tell you. I am committed to the rule of law. I don't believe that judges can make law. I believe that judges are there to follow the law. And that is something that I am committed to the voters to bringing to the bench. Other than that, besides my experience and my qualifications, let me tell you a little bit about my life experience. I am the first person in my family to go to college. So I know what it is let's just say I know what it is to work for everything that you have. I went to the University of Florida because that's financially the place that was available to me also. And besides that, it's a very good school. And I've been working since I was 14. I bring a lot of work experience to a lot of life experience that I bring to the table. So I can understand. I can understand where someone may come into a courtroom and maybe they're not dressed, quote unquote, the way we would expect somebody to be dressed in a court of law, but that doesn't matter. To me, what matters is what the evidence says, what the law says. That's what needs to matter when someone walks into a courtroom, and that is what I am committed. I believe that everybody deserves dignity and respect from a judge. I believe that a judge is a servant to his or her community. A judge is there to serve the community. A judge is there to do justice. to do justice. So I feel so strongly about that. And that's what I hope to bring to you on August 18th when I am elected as your next circuit court judge. Just a reminder, my name is Denise Martinez-Scanziani, and I'm number 314 on the ballot. I'm one of 7 judicial races that you can exercise your right to vote. And the election day, the very last day you can vote, is August 18th. And that is actually only about 3 weeks away. So once Tuesday gets here, we're only 3 weeks away from the election. And I'm very excited. I'm very, I anticipate what's to come. I feel like so many of you have reached out to me in support. And I just thank you. Thank you so much for believing in me. Thank you for telling me and encouraging me and telling me that I belong on the bench, telling me all of these things, because it's not an easy thing to do. I put myself out here because I really, really want to do right by my community. So if I can ask you a favor as you're listening to me, is tell a friend, okay? If you can tell a friend, because of what I've told you, a lot of people don't know how to vote for judges. So tell a friend, tell them about me, tell them about Denise, tell them, hey, I've heard her videos. Hey, I've looked at her website. Hey, look, you can check her out. Tell at least 10 friends. If you can tell 10 friends and then have them tell 10 more friends, that would be I would be very grateful. I would be very grateful, because that is the only way that we can get the word out. That's how we tell people and share with people as much as possible about these elections that really nobody knows how to vote for when it comes to the judges. The judges are not the only candidates that are going to be up. You have local elections, you have the county mayor, you have commission races, you have, there's a state attorney race. So do your research. Google is your friend as much as possible. Find the websites of the candidates, become educated. As a former teacher, I try as much as possible to educate about myself, because I think it's important that you know what you're voting for and who you're voting for. So that's been my obligation to you and my commitment to you, and that's why here, no matter what's going on, every Saturday at 2:00, I'm here on Candidates Corner. I stream live on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and YouTube, and so I'm here waiting to hear from all of you, waiting to answer your questions and to share a little bit more about myself. If you want to volunteer, please, we are definitely taking volunteers. So if you want to volunteer, maybe you want to volunteer on election day and man a precinct and stand there and just share or hold a sign. Maybe you want a yard sign. Whatever it is, let us know. You can message us through any of the social media. For Twitter, it's Denise for Judge. At Instagram, it's Denise for Judge 2020. Facebook.com, it's Denise for Judge. Or you can email us at connect@deniseforjudge2020.com. connect@deniseforjudge2020.com. We will get those emails. We will get, if you need a sign delivered, just send us your address, and next thing you know, you'll have a yard sign in front of your house. But more than anything, we ask, especially now during these times where it's very difficult to get the word out and to share with as many people as possible, please tell your friends, tell your family, tell your contacts, spread the word, and tell them why they should vote for me. Tell them what you've heard about me, whatever it is that has moved you to want to vote for me. I would ask that you just share it as much as possible. So great. Anyway, so I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us. Again, my name is Denise Martinez-Scanziani, running, if you live in Miami-Dade County, you're a registered voter. You can live anywhere from Miami Lakes to Florida City, from Key Biscayne to Kendall, and anywhere in between. Please, you are going to be voting for judges. If you live in Miami-Dade County, you need to vote. Just vote as much as possible. Vote, not as much as possible. Vote one time, but get the word out as much as possible. So I'm very grateful for this opportunity. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will be back next Saturday at 2:00 in Candidates Corner, and you can always look back at the archived videos. You can always check back in and see some of what I've said in the past. And just remember, Denise Martinez-Scanziani, number 314 on the ballot. Thank you so very much for listening and for sharing and telling everybody